Welcome back to my channel or my podcast, wherever your sweetheart is listening. We talk all things life, love, spirituality, law of attraction, and all of that juicy goodness. In this episode or video, we are going to talk about my second part of chapter 1 of my ebook, Navigating Grief and the Unknown. So in the last episode, I finished off about to share my grief story. So we're going to start there today. So drop your shoulders, settle in, take a nice big deep breath, and just let these words hit your heart. And thank you in advance for letting me share. I love sharing my story. And I've never done it before, so it's the first time. Here we go. I was blessed to have a beautiful baby girl named Micah, born on 7/13/2012. We were actually told she was a boy. There was a gender mix-up. They informed us we were having a boy at my 18-week appointment. I didn't find out she was a girl until 3 days before I delivered her. We kept it a secret and surprised my family. It was so fun. Aside from the fact that I was very type A, I had the boy room dressed, the boy clothes in the closet. I was in panic mode with this news. She clearly started showing us her angel magic from the start. The whole experience deserves its very own book, but here's a beautiful glimpse into her life and my grief journey. Micah was born with a muscle disorder. She graced us with her beautiful eyes for 6 wonderful weeks. She stayed at Children's Hospital Philadelphia for the duration of the 6 weeks, where she underwent test after test to determine what was happening in her body. She was considered low tone. Therefore, she struggled to breathe and move majority of her muscles throughout her cute little body. This was the beginning of my deep struggle. I had to surrender. I could not save her. I had to watch her suffer. While she was alive, there was no lifespan discussion with her doctors. We just knew we had a child with a rare, undiagnosable myopathy. We weren't prepared for what was to come in just a few short weeks. We had to make decisions, big decisions. As she started to decline after week 4, I was pressed to the max. It was all too quick and too hard. Her myopathy was causing her airways to get blocked with secretions, and it was getting worse. Unfortunately, Micah lost her battle and passed away on August 29th, 2012 at 6:16 p.m. She was a little warrior. She passed peacefully in our arms, but I was broken. How did this all happen so fast? A few months earlier, I felt so much joy. I thought I was having a boy. I did the chalkboard updates, the reveal party. I planned and prepared everything, but boom, my world was rocked. All of my expectations were challenged once it was confirmed Micah was a girl. Shortly thereafter, my expectations were forced to disappear when she was born and immediately taken to the NICU. For 6 weeks, she was poked and prodded with no definitive answers. Then she was just gone. Devastating. It felt like a tornado. I felt like I just couldn't find the ground. After she passed, I felt immense guilt. I felt shame. I felt anger. I felt slated. I felt pain. I also felt relief. I could finally take a breath for the first time in weeks because I knew she wasn't suffering anymore. Then the guilt poured back into my mind. The emotions were too much. The grief journey was full speed ahead, and it continued like this for years. The first few years, I was numb, and then the pain slowly started to surface in my body. The reality was setting in. As everyone else was forgetting and moving on, it was becoming more real for me. The dust settled, and the terrifying grief was staring right at me. I had to face it. This ebook is filled with how I faced my grief, how I moved through it, how I worked with it, and used it to my advantage. I found ways to see it differently. I found the good in it. You can too. My hope is that you can find it sooner than I did. One of the ways I found the good in it was using the experience to have strength when it was my dad's time to transition. Recently, October 12th, 2021, my father passed away in my arms the exact same way that Micah did. He died from respiratory failure from lung cancer. Micah died from respiratory failure from her myopathy. Side note, they did finally diagnose her 4 months after she had passed. She had nemaline myopathy. It was a very, very, very rare muscle disorder. 1 in 50,000 babies are born with it. My daughter and father's departures were identical. Micah had prepared me for this. Experiencing that pain warmed me up for the next massive loss. I gently sobbed at my dad's bedside as I talked him through his transition to the other side. I told him, Micah is waiting for you. It's okay to go to her. She needs you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I will be okay. The family will be okay. I want you to be free from your pain body. Go fly with her. Hug her. Laugh with her. Tell her I love her. Later, Gator. I love you, Papa. Saying see you later to my dad was one of the hardest moments of my life, but it was also a really beautiful moment. I was so strong in that hospice room. I had music playing, I was reading to him, I was singing, I was playing, I was solid. I was able to celebrate his life because I was fully prepared for what to expect thanks to Micah. I'm crying as I type this because I am so proud of myself. I can see how my grief prepared me for what I thought would be a day I would never survive. I would always say, if I ever lose my dad, I won't survive it. But I did. He was and is my best friend. We had that father-daughter bond. We were buddies. He was there for me the entire 9 years after Micah passed and the 30 years prior. He shaped me. He made life fun, even after loss. I never, ever, ever thought I'd be okay saying goodbye to him, but I was. How is this possible? It is possible through seeing it differently and embracing the healing journey. I haven't mentioned this yet, but I have undergone a great deal of healing work in the last 9 years. I have received countless energy healing sessions, Reiki and best treatments, bioenergetic synchronization technique, and years of talk therapy. I invite you to explore as many healing options as you can. Find what works for you. Healing sessions paired with what you learn in this book will be a wonderful form of assistance on your path to wholeness. It is possible. We can't always see it in the moment, but our grief has a purpose. It will surface when the time is right, when you are ready to see it. That is when you will finally know what it looks like. In the next few chapters, you will read more about all the different lessons Micah brought me. You will hear how I managed to not only survive, but thrive through the years of highs and lows. Now that you've gotten a glimpse into my journey, you can see that we are in this together. Allow me to continue to offer you love and support as you read on. Thanks again for being here. It felt really good sharing Micah and my dad with you all. All right, lovies, that is the end of chapter 1. As we move into chapter 2, in the next podcast, in the next YouTube video, it's called Lose the Self-Judgment. And in that chapter, I talk about how many rules we get placed on ourselves and on grief, and constantly judging our feelings and not just allowing them to be there. So I hope you enjoyed that one. I love talking about my dad and my daughter. If you have any questions about them, please drop them in the comments. DM me on Instagram. I am so open to talking about this. And if you are struggling with a loved one that's passed away, or you have a family member that is struggling, please share this with them. Allow them to know that they can receive the comfort that they might need through my words, through the book, through these videos, through this podcast. Share whatever you feel called, because so many people are enduring losses right now and they don't have the tools. And so many people are enduring multiple losses at once. And mine was spread out. My daughter was 10 years ago. My dad was last year. I've had some time to practice. Some people are being thrown into these spiritual awakenings and the catalyst is a couple losses in their family or an abrupt loss of a child. So please share this if you know somebody that's hurting. We can't save everybody, but we can at least support them on their journey. All right, lovies, like, comment, subscribe if you're here on YouTube. If you're listening to the podcast, I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for being here. Peace out.